24, we'll start with the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The warrant bills are all signed up. Approve the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second. All in favor? Minutes of the last meeting.
I do have one recommended edit, and that is under the assignments of a liaison, that under my name they add Recreation Committee, because that was left out. But other than that, I would to approve the minutes from the June 12th, 2024 meeting with the recommended change.
Second. All in favor? Okay, town administrator weekly update.
No update this week.
No update. Okay, we're gonna go liaisons. Tom.
We received a resignation from the APAC director. Effective what date?
Sunday was his last day.
Sunday was his last date, so we're going to be starting a search for a new director. Posting will be happening soon. In the meantime, we've got somebody to fill in here. Dan's filling in. He's going to make sure we don't skip a beat, and so we'll be doing that hire. With regard to municipal finance, spent time with Mark Roy going over the most recent reports. It's now the end of May. We look in good shape. We'll know in probably another week or two. Pretty good. Have a pretty good sense of how we ended the year. Mark's able to produce those reports for us, so we should have a pretty good handle on that by then. Investment-wise, we're doing well. We're still running in excess of $5.5 million in cash and investments. Still have a little disbursement to take place in the month of June, but cash is pretty much in line with what we had thought. And Warrant Finance Committee, we've gotten a communication from them. Is that on the agenda?
Yes.
All right, then I'll hold on that. Thank you.
Okay. Dan?
After the last meeting, I had a phone conversation with the fire department chief about whether or not they were going to look into purchasing a new pump or getting one repaired. Looking at the numbers, it was not much more to purchase new pumps, so we approved that. And then we also talked about establishing regular meetings between him and I, just to keep updated on what's going on in the fire department. But we're going to start those following the July 4th holiday. With the Recreation Committee, I know they're coming tonight to request, but we also sent an email in regards to establishing a meeting to kind of make a game plan for this upcoming year and all the seasons, so that we kind of have a timeline for that. And then for the Forestry Conservation Committee, I've actually been in communication with the chair. They have some concerns coming about a piece of property that is for sale that is abutting a public boat access. He was going to try to get an email so I could share to the board with more information. He hasn't gotten that to me yet. I will follow up tonight, but he does have some concerns about
Who's that now?
Michael Benjamin. He's the chair of the Forestry.
Oh, yeah, okay. You're talking about the issue up there on Wilson?
I think so, with the boat launches. His concern is that that property kind of runs into the boat launch, and he's concerned that it might impede access to that boat launch and have some other unintended consequences. So that was what we talked about on the phone, but I'm hoping to have, I asked him to send me an email that I could share with the rest of the board with his.
Who owns the boat launch there now?
I think it's town,
It shows a town on the map.
It's right on the line.
and that's why his concern is. And he has more information, which is why I asked. I said, I'm not that area of expertise, that's why I asked for an email. And he said he's going to try to get that with some pictures so that we can have a better idea of just kind of what the thought, and he had some
Have you
ideas.
seen any of it yet?
I haven't.
I got some pictures. I had some people send me some pictures of it.
But so he did voice that concern. I've been in communication with him about that and kind of the plans for now. But
And I see those two were swapped on your liaisons. I'll fix those for next week. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah, I just crossed mine out.
It was an arrow.
So there was other.
Yeah. So,
but
I will pick up on the here.
so I've been in communication with all the committees, and yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Thank you. I don't have anything on Mary Grant. I don't have anything on animal control. Actually, animal control's later on the list.
Yeah.
In the new business. And John had to take over for a meeting to do some interviews when I was not available last week, so. Transfer station is also down on the list. We had an issue with the skid steer, and you'll hear about that later on.
John?
Yeah, like I said, he couldn't make a meeting last week. Jennifer and I went over to Shapley and met with them, and we'll talk about that later,
Yeah.
executive session.
And you're probably just getting your feet wet. I saw that for your liaisons, so we go through your list, I saw that John sent an email to you, John Ross, from the
Right.
school committee, so he sent you an email to kind of welcome you and meet and greet. I know we talked about after the holiday, sitting down with Jason.
Yep, and I
To go over
sat
planning.
in there planning a board meeting on Thursday night.
And cemetery probably hasn't met yet.
Not going.
Road committee, I don't have any update on that right now. Grounds, municipal grounds, did get a call the other night from an individual lives up on 109. They're concerned about the state taking pieces of
Oh, yes,
property,
we've got a lot
which is going to affect our project that we're doing over on the other side. So I think probably I'm going to try to get contact with somebody up the state to see exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, they came in and met with me because they need some signatures, and I've told them they need to come to schedule a Wednesday meeting and come, because they've got a resolution, they want to make you an offer for a certain part of your right of way near the rec field, which we talked about, but they have to do that at a meeting.
Yeah.
They need a vote.
Yeah, so the concerns I'm getting are from the people there across the road. They're talking about taking the rock wall out, all the trees out,
Yeah, they're going to.
and everything
There's a big
else.
area there that's being affected.
And I mean, honestly, I gave them as much advice as I could give them. The states, you know, you deal with them however you want, but they're gonna do what they want, but it's whether or not they can get some concessions. So I told them we'd give them some sort of update of what's happening on our side of it.
Yeah, so I will follow up and get them on an upcoming meeting.
Okay.
Can they provide something in writing before the meeting so we can understand what
Yes,
they're doing?
I have a packet for you.
Wonderful, thank you.
And I'm gonna cross out the rec committee, 'cause that's Dan's.
Yeah, wow, that's all messed up.
Yeah, that's all right. I didn't catch it until I didn't.
We should have.
Yeah, so other than that, that's all I got there. I guess we're gonna go down to department head committee chair updates.
Yes, Jason? Go ahead.
Guess I'll go first.
You're the only one.
We don't have a paper something.
Oh, you didn't get agendas? There were.
That's what you like, so I didn't.
Oh, here.
I'll get up there, they all are. For update we'll start with the planning board. About a month ago, we received a audit from the North Star Planning. The select board had they asked me to contact North Star to just have our ordinance audited, just to make sure that we're in compliance with the state, see if there's anything that we need to improve on or change, make sure that the town doesn't get in any trouble with any of the things that we're doing or are doing. You know, they came back with a pretty good list of recommendations on what to do. You know, some of the things were, you know, reorganization of the ordinance, bringing things, because we have some things that it's scattered all over the place, so they'd like to just regroup, restructure the ordinance. I guess restructure isn't the right word, but just get everything so it flows.
Restructure.
Restructure, yeah. So it reads better, it reads easier for the townspeople, the planning board, and the applicants. You know, some of the things, review and update some of the site plan review standards. They feel that some of those might need some revisions. Merge the, right now we have a separate subdivision regulation. It's not part of our ordinance, it's its own separate standalone regulation. They'd like to merge that with our ordinance, because they say that's a typical thing. Same thing with our shoreline zoning, it's kind of scattered throughout the ordinance. They want to create one section, especially for Acton, where we have a lot of shoreline properties. It'd be nice to just be able to look at one section instead of having to bounce everywhere around it. So that was really, and there's a lot to it, so it's a multi-year. It's not a one-year process. If I had the board do this and we brought it to town meeting, there's too much, you know, to handle in 1 year.
So, to move on to something, so mooring ordinance, I have been dealing with that a little bit for the last few weeks. During the public hearing, we had a lot of people show interest with that when it came to Rogers Brook Association. So I am dealing with a couple moorings that need to be moved. They're in front of someone's property. One boat actually, I guess last year, hit this other person's boat, the person who wants the boats moved. Started out with 3 boats. He's agreed to give written permission for one of the boats to stay because it's further away from his. One guy has agreed to move his boat. I think he's going to try to move it this weekend. Another one that's going to take a little bit more effort because they're not really working. So
You know what?
they're not really working with me right now. It's going to take a little bit more effort to get that other one moved. So we'll keep on working with that one. I told the property owner it's not an overnight situation. I can't just snap my fingers and get someone to do stuff. There's a process to it all. Another thing, so I've been dealing with some other violations in town. People have had some written complaints about junkyards and things like that. The select board, if they remember, I've been dealing with one particular one for the last 2 years. It kind of went on hiatus for a year, and then it got brought back up. The select board received another follow-up on it. This individual didn't want to do anything. I ended up having to contact town legal, and we met in court last beginning of June. There was no movement, and now he wants to work with the town. So that's the unfortunate problem with that one, and he just didn't want to do anything, but he is willing to work with the town now.
Is there any formal action at the court hearing?
Not right now. It's pretty, they just want him to comply. It's more, we're gonna go back, I think we're gonna go back and I think it's August. I'm not 100% positive. I gotta talk with the town attorney again.
Okay.
So it's moving. It's just gonna be a slow process. There was a lot of stuff on this property. The means for him to just make everything disappear overnight isn't there. So I'm dealing with 2 of those type of scenarios. One, I'm still waiting for response. Let's see. On a good note, so we've been asked to cross-train some of our departments. So Dave Riley, my assistant, so we've had him take a couple of exams through the state. He is now, passed his internal plumbing exam as well. Today he just passed his subsurface wastewater exam. So we're just kind of trying to just move forward with stuff like that. There was another violation on an illegal structure in the shoreline zone, and that was some handling with that one as well. So it was always fun.
Sounds busy.
Yeah, it's always good.
Couple questions. On the North Star proposal,
Yeah.
as you mentioned, the select board had asked you to do this. How is the planning board receiving this?
No, they were good. So they obviously had questions for North Star. North Star met with us on the June 20th meeting. I think he came in, he helped explain it. There's questions. There's going to be things that they're willing to comply with or work with, and then there'll be pushback on everything. Some of these people like the ordinance the way it is, or they feel that, and it's going to be we're going to have to work with it, and they're looking for some more explanation, but we pretty much just asked them to take it home, read it over, digest it, and come back with some suggestions. Last week we met and we talked more about, where do they want to go with it. So we have a few things. They keep on, one of the things the planning board does keep on bringing up, because they're trying to plan for future, keep on talking about the expired comprehensive plan. So I told them I would mention that to you guys, or the comprehensive plan that's 15 years old or 20 years old. I know that's not their thing, but they keep on making the comment that how are we supposed to approve these things where we don't know where the town's looking to go, that scenario. I also try to explain to them, it's not an overnight process, it takes years to get a new comprehensive plan, it has to be approved through the state and all that.
So the planning board has an issue, they don't think they can make decisions without the
I
comprehensive.
don't know if I would actually say that, they just would like to see an updated comprehensive plan.
I assume it would provide them some guidance
Yeah, that's,
on what the town has adopted.
What does the town
For the
want?
future direction of the
Yeah.
town,
Yeah.
so that as issues come before the planning board, they could make sure that they are operating in a way that's consistent with
Yeah.
that direction,
Yeah.
approved direction. With regard to North Star, I assume they've done this in other towns?
Yeah.
Have you looked at some of their websites to look at the planning board or the ordinance to see, yeah, that's exactly what we'd like done, or?
So no, I haven't. So when we do start making changes, that's one of the things that my office will do. We did that with the mineral extraction. We go through and look at other ordinances, you know, so what would their shoreline zoning look like, or their subdivision, all this stuff. I don't just ask my board or North Star to, well, I would ask North Star to make recommendations, but then we always follow up and see, especially some of our neighboring towns, how are those working, so that we're kind of
Okay.
informing with them.
Good. And thanks for doing the training.
Yeah.
I know that's important, and hopefully it provides you some relief as well, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great.
It was pretty good. He was pretty excited to get it done. It was the subsurface one was a pretty good one for him.
Yeah.
So the next one's we put like a timeline together. The next one was the internet residential building, but I gave him, because that book, I mean, it's
Yeah.
really thick, and I gave him a couple months to study on that one, because it's not one where you just flip through the book and find it. You got to know where you're looking. So, but all these exams are open book, but then you want to know where to go, not just they don't expect you to know the answer to everything.
Yeah.
So.
I was able to attend the planning board meeting
Yeah.
this past Thursday, and I do just want to say that I really appreciate the thoughtfulness that you and the board approached with kind of thinking of where you wanted to go. One thing I really appreciated was you brought up some past things that have come up this past year of residents' concerns, and I just appreciate knowing that those are things that you still keep in mind, and that when you're going forward, you are thinking about how we can address these problems in the future. And I just appreciate that, because sometimes we look at departments or even any workplace, we think something goes in one ear, out the other, and it's nice to know that that's not the case here.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to let you know that
Well, if I
I
don't
appreciate
address them, I
that.
get phone calls.
Yeah. I want people to know though that you are thoughtful and that you do keep their concerns and their thoughts in your mind when it comes to future planning, and that's something
Yeah.
that I really appreciated hearing that in the meeting.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Any other questions? Nothing? Well, I appreciate it, Jason.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, we're going to old business, fire station demo.
So we went out to bid, and the bid stated that the removal of the bid were to start when roads become unposted no later than May 1st, 2024. We did have a late storm in April. It took probably an extra week than we anticipated to have CMP get everything taken off. We had some issues with the meters. But for several weeks, I had David step in on this because conversations seemed to go a little better.
Why?
I don't either, no.
Usually it's the opposite.
Larger concrete, I'm gonna let David take from here, is so far, yesterday was his deadline to come down, and we
So-
take the tank out.
So what happened was we called him and he said, yup, gonna come down, da, da, da. He kind of threw it at us like the reason why he wasn't here is because of us. Because we told him he wasn't allowed to come because of the posted roads, but when we put the bid out, we put it after the roads were unposted. Well, he seemed to think that road didn't get posted. Well, it does. And so, but then he said he was gonna come down and da, 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 da. He didn't. We called him again. This time we asked for an actual date for the time he's gonna be here. He said, we gave him till the 22nd. And he said he was gonna be down that week before that, take the oil tank out, this and that. He never showed up. So, I'm recommending to the board that we move on.
I agree.
So, what I would do, I like to recommend that we go to the next bid up.
So, yeah, Gardner, you had awarded at 17.5, the next one would be Nick Curtis at 18.3.
Before I made this recommendation, I did call the contractor, ask him if he would still take the bid as is,
Right.
and he said he would. So, I didn't wanna come and say, yeah, let's go to the next guy and have him say, I can't do it, so,
Now we've gone to the next,
Mine-
because at this point he's not coming.
yeah, so.
So my question is, do we sign
No.
country insights? We don't have to worry about any?
Well, we awarded it based on the bid, and the bid clearly says that, the work to start when roads become unposted no later than May 1st. He told David and I both together, we hadn't signed anything.
Okay,
He
just
told
wanted to make sure
both of
we're not
us
gonna-
2.5 weeks ago that he mentioned more than once, he was happy for us to take someone else if it came to that.
He did mention that.
He said that he was on the road twice heading this way and got canceled, which just wasn't
Which,
true.
absolutely, I have no idea why any contractor would ever tell us.
He said he was loaded halfway down, we told him not to come.
That we turned him around, and that was not the case.
So there's no standing contract with them?
We have not signed
Okay,
anything
good. I
with
just
him.
wanted to make sure we we're gonna have any.
No, and I would make the recommendation if we did have a signed
We awarded it in
contract
the public meeting.
without going to legal.
Okay.
But, and we can certainly, you know, I will review it all with Brad tomorrow before we call.
We'll probably gotta send a certified letter.
Yes, we will.
Thank you.
Should we make a motion tonight, though, to move on?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so,
Pending the-
can I see the bid?
Pending the approval of the town's attorney.
Yeah, okay.
Did he give you any type of time frame, Curtis?
He told me that he could get on it in the next few weeks, but maybe he'll get on it earlier, but he wasn't gonna give me a deadline until he knew he was doing the job.
Yeah, that which
So,
makes sense.
Where are we here? Oh, there it is. So I'd like to make a motion, to accept, Curtis Earthworks, a bid for $18,300 for the demolition and removal of the, town shed with the
With the blessing of the town's attorney.
blessing of the town attorney.
Make that the old fire station, not town shed.
Oh, did I say town shed?
Yeah, you did.
I'm sorry about that. I'm gonna say the old town gym, how's that?
Yeah, there you go.
Town gym slash fire department.
I think you tear down the wrong building.
I don't know where I come up with that.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Okay. And I'll contact him tomorrow.
We'll talk to Brad first.
Okay, you do that, okay. Awesome. Okay, where are we? We're down to new business, rec director.
Hello. All right, so you guys have received 3 different quotes.
They didn't review them in advance because I just got them a half hour ago, so they have them in your packet, so they may need a minute to look
Is that
through
what
them.
these are?
So next, next.
There's 3 different,
What are we buying now?
they're the soccer goals that we had talked about.
And you're only looking for one
A set, so 2 of them. So that's what the quotes all have, is the set.
up there.
Yeah.
We had Net World, Quick Play, and Premier Soccer.
Yep.
These are same basic.
They're the same basic goals.
21x7, it looks
The
like.
Net World carries the Forza, which is the same brand that we bought last year, that we've seemed to have really good luck with.
Is
It's
this
actually-
company in the United States, because we had trouble last time, that we had serious, big trouble
No,
with
that
our
one's in
bank.
UK.
This is in the UK, this one. We had a lot of problems with the bank and the debit card and
Oh,
getting
yeah?
this done. Yes, remember, you and I worked on that together.
Well, typically when you do something like that, like you call the bank in advance and let them
Right,
know
we'll
that
tell them
it's
ahead of
outside.
time. Here's the next one.
So if you know that in advance, you'd say, we're gonna make this purchase, can you, whatever, for this time? I mean, that's what I've had to do with the bank when I've been purchasing.
Did you meet with the treasurer? What, we watched the meeting last week. You were gonna, you got Mark Roy's account.
Yeah, you sent it.
Yeah. Did you meet with her and how much of that you spent in June and where you're at exactly?
No.
So you had, 8,800 left, right, according to Mark?
Yeah, okay.
So what have you spent in June?
Was it the 24, 2200, something like that? For the only thing that we bought was the mats.
Okay, so I have you spending 43.54 in June.
What else did we didn't
Well-
buy anything.
Well, your mats were 34.22
Oh, okay.
with shipping. So no, we had asked you to sit down with her and look at all the numbers. But it looks like she's got 3,900 left.
So what should be in that?
Who did that accounting?
The treasurer and I did because I knew she would, I know, but I knew that it was
Isn't
gonna
this
come.
your budget?
Yeah, do we have any treasure there?
We've had a treasurer
Oh,
for,
okay.
yeah, for several,
I haven't met them yet.
it's,
You probably should have by
Yes.
now.
Wait a minute. If you're gonna make a recommendation to spend money, the department head is responsible for the budget. So have you confirmed that you have the money? Or, it doesn't sound like you have, but I'm trying to understand this.
So we're getting conflicted.
so she got Mark Roy's report. She got this report. This was as of the end of May. But the conversation was, we bought things in June, so we needed to make sure that whatever she bought in June, we'd separated out. So I went to Lauren this afternoon to make sure.
Do you?
My job is to make up to you.
This is not your job.
Well, the question I got, when you, so say you get Mark's, so what's that, 8,000, whatever?
8839.
Okay, 8839, okay? That was the end of May, correct? You spent money in June,
The only thing about, yeah, with the mats.
but you spent money in June.
But there's
So-
stipends, your stipends, payroll taxes.
What we've gotta do from now on, what your job, what you've got to do, is you don't wanna come in front of this board and not be sure what you have for money.
Yeah.
And then go around and wanna spend more of it. So you should be, whenever you should have a sort of line item thing where you spend boom, 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 boom. And obviously, you should obviously be talking to our treasurer to make sure your numbers are right, her numbers are right, this and that.
Yeah.
Because we need to know exactly what you're spending when you come here. And her numbers are conflicting with your numbers right now, and I'm confused.
Well, my numbers are accurate because I took,
Well,
well, no, I'm not like that,
I'm
I'm
just
just saying, I
saying.
knew that you guys were going to ask how much she had to spend, and knowing that, I mean, and this all happened in the last hour, knowing that she hadn't got any updated information. You also had your porta potty bill that came in, so that had to get subtracted.
I never even received it to sign off on it.
It came in, it was in the box, it was signed on.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, so I mean, you've got to have, every time you spend something, it has to be at least documented so you know and we know. Without, and plus, the treasurer will give you that anyways. That way there, we don't have this problem. So, right now, as of right now, how much money does she have to spend?
$39.18.
And what are you looking to spend?
We've taken out all of the payroll for the whole month of June, what we know for bills.
I think the most she's looking at spending is like
I would like to go with the Forza because that's the same brand that we got last time.
So the network, the one on the top is the
So
one she's
but it's the
looking at.
network one.
Would be the Q3,
Is that where they came
23
from last
hash
time?
pretty much.
So,
Go ahead.
it has a quantity of one. Is this
It's-
just
This
one?
is a
No, it's a
pair.
pair, it says pair
If
next
you
to
read the
it.
description, it says pair.
So this is two nets?
This is, yeah, and it's the whole goal. It's,
Is there any installation
It's-
associated with these, or they freestand, that they?
we just put them together when they come in.
And, okay, so they're removed at the end of the season?
At the end of the season, we move them over to the side
Okay.
because they're 21 by 7 feet. We don't want to unbolt them and rebolt them and unbolt them and rebolt them.
So we bought the same set last year?
Not the same set, we bought a smaller set last year,
With the small-
When is
it's like
soccer
the same
starting?
brand, same size.
September.
Okay.
The only other thing that I looked at is when I look at the last one that you sent in from Premier Soccer Goal,
Yeah.
that says times 2. So if I take $35.98 and divide it by 2, it's $17.99. It's actually cheaper than the top one.
The top one is $1839.99 for 2.
But it says, no, it says one. It says
Yeah, but we'll go-
gold
But it says
pair.
pair, and
It's a
so
pair.
it's one order of two nets, so they're including the pair as
Yeah.
one unit.
Right,
So it's
so
one unit
you
because
think
it's-
this last one doesn't mean a pair?
Oh, I didn't see
The last
that
one's
one.
not a pair, the last one, it's each one is, you have to multiply it by 2.
That's not how I.
So some companies have them so that you can get them as a pair, most of
Well,
them
this
have
one
it for
says,
their
the
individual.
last one says 7 by 21 times 2, so I think that's what you're saying, that 2 means a pair, is that what you're?
Yeah, it's difficult because if you look at the email, this came in at 4:37. It doesn't give me time to check them and look, you know what I mean?
And I did talk to him on the phone prior to getting the
Well,
quotes.
either way, with pair or not, it would still be that 3, it's saying that the 2 costs $359.
Not if it's 2 sets, 2 complete pairs is how I took it.
I see it as just 2 nets,
That's
meaning
2
one pair.
individual,
Well,
because that one doesn't say pair.
Look, first off, there's confusion about the money. And secondly, there's confusion about the bids. And, you know, here we are, we're trying to assess this, reading the bids, it's not particularly clear what's going on. this is just not the way to do this, Sam.
I guess I'm not understanding the confusion with reading them, because I know that on the second one, it says exactly the 21 by 7, and it's quantity of 2, because that one's individual goals. The last one is individual goals. The top one comes as a pair. You can actually select, do you want a single or do you want a pair, and they give you a discount when you do a pair. Not all of the companies offer you it as a set. They offer an individual.
I mean, I don't have any problem just reading what these are saying. I think it was more of the money, not that was my, I do think this is self-explanatory in regards to
So,
pair versus.
so right
Yeah, now
now,
that you say that, I looked at the website and pulled into, I just haven't had time to look at them.
yeah, last minute stuff doesn't work well.
So this came in at 4:30?
The last one did.
I originally had screenshots, and I thought that they were good because the website was listed on the bottom. But me and Jen spoke after and decided that I would just try to get actual quotes.
Hard copies is really what we really need.
Yeah, so that's what I was trying to do today while running around.
Well, my only thing I'll say in regards to that is that you did email like a week ago about this. And even though we did say come to the next meeting, because, with, the cancellation of the meeting, it would have been nice if you had done that then, because then we could have had some time to look at it and ask questions. So the expectation of you emailing us last week was that you were gonna be ready with this last week. And the fact that we're having these questions, it makes me question, were you gonna have been ready to present this last week, and why?
I was planning on using what I had taken and what I had gotten online, and that being my quotes to be able to show. So I had information.
But-
It was just, it wasn't in this format.
Yeah. And so that's,
And that's the same thing I did with the cheer mats.
that's where some of that concern, but I think, you and I are gonna hopefully talk at some point. I think those will be some things that we will
Yeah, we'll get to
talk
that.
about to kind of have a clear plan and kind of what the select board's expecting every single time, and kind of having that standard that hopefully this won't be a concern, and every time we come up, we'll be able to understand everything perfectly.
So I just,
Does
go ahead.
Maine Municipal have any training programs on how to do appropriate bidding?
I'm sure they do.
I think you ought to attend. I think you ought to go to one and make sure that you understand what an appropriate bid package looks like. Because to me, this is not it.
So Jen, have you done, so do you have a number right now, how much money you could spend?
Jen had said $3,918.
Right?
And she just checked that, you said an hour ago with the
Yeah.
treasurer.
Okay, so give me that again.
391.
3,918.
And what she's
No
asking.
change?
85 cents.
85, okay.
And I will say that on the 12th, I had sent the screenshots and that to both Jen and to David.
Right, but on the
So they were-
18th, I told you that you needed to put together packets. I can't, when you send me a screenshot from the phone and you screenshot your phone and send it to my email, it doesn't give me the entire, it's not a document like this. Do you know what I mean? It's not this, I mean, I can't, we've all printed screenshots. This, you can't screenshot a cart. You know what I mean? You're making it out like I haven't been.
Sam,
I mean,
No, I'm
Sam, let me explain
sorry.
it. The auditors will come in, and they'll look at all of our purchases, and they're gonna wanna look at the package to understand what the competitive bids look like. And if that's not clear, then they're gonna have an issue with that, and they're gonna make that issue known through the audit process. So, there is it's not a real onerous process. We just need clarity around
That's fine.
where the bids are from, what are they for, are they apples and apples or apples and oranges? And so that we can make a clear decision about what to do here. And with regard to the money, that is not Jennifer's responsibility, that is yours. That is your responsibility to do that. So when you say Jennifer says it's this, we really need to hear from you what it is.
Every department head, that's their job. I'll point out the road commissioner, the transfer station, they know their budgets. When they come to us and they ask to do something, they know their number, they should.
And just to clarify, Sam, because, I did this for you, because,
Yes.
I want to finish, because I'm sitting before a 5-member board, and they would have asked you how much money you had left tonight, or it wouldn't have happened. We have 4 days before the fiscal year ends. You shouldn't be here buying this at all if I was in charge. So I put this together for
That's
you.
what I feel.
Do you know what I mean? So, I was being helpful to put that together for
And I
you.
appreciate it.
I do have a question. Were these, speaking of the fiscal year, were these included in next year's budget? Were these included in this budget? Or where were these nets originally included, like what budget?
So these, we ended up deciding as a board, this past season, that we needed to get another set. So it was discussed with our board. Our board hasn't had, since our last meeting that we've had here, where we were going to go over our budget numbers with my board. We haven't had a meeting yet. We
But
thought
how
it
much
was
did you
coming up.
budget for nets?
I guess that was what we're.
And what year?
For this year, she budgeted for nets. We
For
talked
this
about
year,
that
we've
last
already,
meeting.
we've already spent what we had budgeted this year, but there were things that we didn't end up purchasing.
Right, so she's taking from other sports,
So were
Did we have
this,
budgets for it in next year's budget for these nets?
more nets.
or would this kind of
Yeah.
substitute?
Is there money in next year's budget for nets?
We haven't set money aside for the budget next year for the nets.
Well, no, whatever you turned into like the Warren Finance and stuff, the budget you did for 24, 25, where their
The
nets.
approved
I
budget?
don't think there were nets on that one, no.
My only thing about this now is that just knowing, I don't know how long it takes to ship, like, getting them done soon, it takes care of that, and then we don't have to do it this late.
Well, that's what we talked about it last time. When I don't like that none of this is working well when it comes to the way the bid process is working, not knowing how much money there is. Luckily, Jen, you did your job, thank you. But you're right. If we don't do it now, then it'll end up being asked for next season, and something else will be robbed from because they need to do that. I don't wanna see a budget in town with money left in it. Unless it's, you know, I don't want it being spent, just to be spent, but if it can be spent right now and help us next year's, but, I'm reluctant to wanna do this because it's so unorganized, but, what is your recommendation? Net World Sports?
I would like to continue on with Net World Sports just because we've had luck. When we put the nets together from the Forza, they were awesome. They're still high quality, ready to go.
This will be your last expenditure out of this fiscal season. That will leave you a balance of what?
Like, about 1,000, not even.
38 minus.
About 1,300.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if she has any more
About
saying,
$1,500.
about 15, yeah, 17.
Okay. Okay.
17.
17.
You've had no issues buying from overseas like this?
I think Jen said some
I should
problems with
work,
the
so.
bank. But that should be something that could be
Yeah,
solved if we just
yeah, we've
know
learned.
in advance.
You gotta
that
pay
it
by
is.
check, right?
No, we pay by debit card, it's the only way that they won't take, they're only online orders. That's why we went through so much last time, and this close to the end of the fiscal year, we can't pay by check. So we'll transfer just the amount, Tom, to that amount, we'll leave the debit card low for X amount of weeks, but that's the only way we can do
But
it.
we're not gonna pay it by June 30.
Yeah, we're gonna pay it tomorrow when I order them.
Does it require payment at time of order?
Yes, yeah, it's an online purchase.
Any online purchases.
Yeah, because on that one, I would
Yeah.
approve it because it'd be in the next fiscal
Right.
year.
And we've done business with this firm before.
Yeah, that's what the
This
next
is the
one
same.
before.
And I spoke to them on the phone today. And you can call, just give them the quote number and we can order everything.
Do I hear a motion?
I move that we take the is it your recommendation or the committee's recommendation, I guess?
It was the committee's recommendation to get the nets.
But
We have not been able to have a meeting since we talked about it last.
I think that's probably fine. If they agreed to buy the nets,
Okay.
it's their job, so that's part of it.
So then-
We had an agreement, a recommendation from the committee to spend up to $2,400 on soccer nets.
Okay.
Oh, well, that's good to know, because you're under the $2,400.
My only question was some of the wording of the.
I think the answer is-
that I move that we approve the rec director's selection for purchasing nets from Net World Sports at the price of $2,239.98.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
I'll abstain.
That'd be-
That's the only reason, so I didn't forward that motion.
Okay. Okay, where are we now? You got anything else?
I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. I wanted to see if there was a way that we could put on the big sign for soccer signups.
Send me an email.
Okay, do that. Do we have any update on the parking lot?
As of right now, I haven't received anything.
No, I mean, at the last select board meeting, the board got word from the Maine Department of Maine DOT that they are gonna be coming to a meeting to talk about that area. They may be taking something by eminent domain, so we're waiting to find out before we put anything else in the parking lot.
Okay.
Expect them at an
Yeah,
upcoming
because
meeting.
that's all, the engineers are gonna have to know what they're doing there to do their part of the job, so.
Yep. And then just a reminder, the rec is supposed to be meeting on Sunday at 9 AM for inventory. We're just going to the shed to go over everything that we have.
This Sunday?
Yep.
Have you confirmed with your members, that's June 30th, so that's the last day of their appointments. Have you confirmed?
They were the ones, I sent out an email to remind everybody, but they were the ones who set it up at our last meeting.
Do yourself a favor and do that again, just to remind them.
Okay.
Okay, I would do that.
I can do that. And then we have July 11th and August 8th are our next rec meetings.
We'll get back to you on that.
Okay.
July 11th, we'll maybe
Yeah.
reschedule it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okey-dokey. Where are we? Paving bid.
So Mr. Langley called me today and asked if he could put this together. We talked about maybe making some changes to it, so it wasn't always coming due in June. But based on what he's talking about with his planning schedule in the fall, he says it's fine. So it's basically the same bid that we've done in the past. It runs from July 1st to June 30th. It asks for per ton price, handwork ton, curbing, reclaiming. It's the same bid, gives them until Wednesday the 17th to get it back to us. Reminds them that they have to have insurance and workers' comp, that they can't email bids in, they can't give them to the road commissioner. So it's a pretty standard bid that we've used the last few years.
And only 2 staples, so you can have the whole thing apart, right?
I'm gonna, no statements, time dated, just for you.
Is the bid is good until when? Is it June 30th?
June 30th,
Yeah.
2025.
We did that because of the fiscal year.
Right, and that's what we talked about, him remembering, but he was good with it, so.
Yep, good.
The board just looking all set with us to repost it?
Yep, yeah, I'm good.
Is this is what you posted?
Yes.
You said that, insurance, I don't see any of that information on this.
Yeah, it may not be at the bottom, but this is a draft, I'll make sure it's on there.
Okay, I just wanna make sure, cause those were important things, so.
Insurance and workers' comp. Anything else on that one?
That's it. Okay, thank you. Transfer station rental.
Robin?
Well,
How we doing?
Good so far.
Okay, a couple of weeks ago, I had a leak on my skid steer up to the transfer station. I notified the town manager that I had a leak. Then she had me go get some rental bids for a rental because.
Well, so we got it to John Deere first. John
Oh, yeah,
Deere
that's
picked it
right.
up.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, we went to John Deere first. They tore it all apart. They got roughly $2,100 or so dollars tied up into it right now. There's a rod in the pump. It's all scored. That's where it was leaking.
it was with a valve, right?
Yeah, and I guess you can't buy just that rod valve, whatever it is, separately. You have to buy the whole
School
pump.
valve, it's a
Right.
school valve, yeah.
Yeah.
And they quoted you how much to replace it?
To get it back up and running, there's some lines that should be replaced, and everything total was $16,000.
So out of that $16,000, is that fixing, it's the pump, right? Is it the pump or is it,
It's that shaft inside the pump.
okay, so it's part of the pump? Are they
It's part of the
replacing the
pump.
pump or are they rebuilding the pump?
No, they can't get just the rod.
So 16,000 for a new pump?
No, that's the total number was 16,000.
So the pump and then the hours working.
The hours, what they have tied up into it, you know, the new, right, the new lines, and there's some new lines that's all rusted, it's been there for several
So a little
years.
bit more. Yeah.
And it took them a whole half a day just to get the mud and crap out of it, so they can actually find out where it was leaking, because it took them, because it was many years of that's been,
What year is that?
I have no idea. It was there before Bob got here, so it's roughly 15 years or more. And it was probably secondhand then, I don't know.
Oh, I believe it was very new. I thought it was.
Yeah, I don't know.
But,
That was before my time, even.
well, you've been around acting for. Okay, so $16,000 to get it back to where it was before.
Correct. That is correct.
You've got quotes here for.
So these are just rentals because we weren't sure what directions. We got two different things we need to talk about. First of all, what the board's direction should be about repairing it. Do you want to prices? I mean, we know what it's gonna cost to repair it.
Yeah.
And she will not tie us to that number because she says she may come across other.
I got a recommendation. You wanna hear it? Okay, I deal with equipment all the time, buying and selling. I don't sell much, I just buy it.
Yeah.
But, you wanna put $16,000 into a machine that's probably worth $15,000?
I didn't know.
I'm just trying to make a point here.
Right, yeah, oh, I agree.
So,
Totally agree.
yeah, because that's what it's gonna be worth.
Correct.
And if you put it on municipal bid, you're gonna get $6,000
Yeah.
for it, so we just lost $10,000 before.
Right.
That is correct.
So, I'm just trying to make everybody out there
Okay,
understand.
yeah, I'm sorry.
So,
The
but,
idea is probably not to repair it.
but I wouldn't dump another dime in that thing.
And we have told them to
I mean, it's a
stop.
John Deere too, I mean, really, you know?
We had the town administrator and my liaison told them to hold where they were in their whole.
How much we got dumped into our $2,600, something like
21,
that?
22.
Yeah, we went between 20 and
I mean, that's a loss at this point, you know, but,
And we're hoping to pay that this week.
Yeah.
So we wanna be able to call her and say, listen, wrap it up, give us the final bill, we'll come and get it, we'll find a way to get it back. In the
Yeah.
meantime, and we don't have to decide what your plan is for replacement tonight. What we
Right.
need is approval to rent something for about a
Right,
month while we sort it out.
I can't, I gotta have
Yeah.
something. I just.
oh, no,
Go
definitely.
over the bids that you have for rental.
Southern Maine Tool Equipment Rental, a Bobcat S64, $200 to pick up and deliver it. It's $320 a day, $1,280 a week, and $3,000 a month.
We're looking at a month,
So,
right?
yeah, it's gonna take us
I
a
would
month.
say months, because, I don't believe the transfer station, when you guys did your budget, you budgeted for a new skid steer.
Well, we were gonna talk about that next.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, okay, it's gonna be months because you're gonna have, first you're gonna have a bid process. Then you're gonna have possible special town meeting, because he's not gonna have the funds to buy this. And then, obviously, so you're talking at least two months.
At least two, yeah.
But I'm just looking at the months.
So Southern Maine is about 3,200 per month, 3,400.
Yeah.
What's next?
Chandler's,
Yep, which one?
How do you get 34?
I took 3,200 to pick it up and drop it off.
Yeah,
well, I think the two.
those are one-time charges.
Yeah.
Well, no, I know, but when they bring it to us, I'm gonna take it back, I mean.
No,
bring it to us.
I think the 200 is
Oh,
bringing,
so 30.
So it's
I'm not
30.
100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that 200 was $100
I
taken
think
up.
you originally told me.
So those are, if you're gonna have this multiple months,
Yeah,
it's really $3,000 a month.
Plus,
basically, yeah, absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Chandler's, they get $75 to haul it both ways, within 15 miles.
Is
It's
it the track
It's
loader?
it's a 325G track loader. A day is 380, a week is 1225, and they don't do monthly.
So,
So this would be about for a month.
So it'll be 4,900 at the weekly rate.
That's $4,900.
All right, next.
so let's move on, before we go on, are these comparable machines, are they both tracks, or one on tires and one on tracks?
I forgot to ask that, David.
Okay, well, I'm just.
Yeah, to be honest, I
The
forgot
price
to
makes a big
ask.
difference when you go to track and a road.
What is, do you know what the first one is, the Bobcat? Because obviously.
The Bobcat is a wheel.
Oh, yeah, okay, so let's
I'm
look.
99% sure, but
But you're better off.
I can find out for you and let you know.
Yeah.
I forgot to ask
The
that.
last
So
one,
This is a 180 deposit, is that on top of all that? or-
that says track.
What's that? What's that?
The Chandler's
Yeah.
bid, it says the very top, I think it says 180 deposit, or what is that?
Yeah, it's a 180 deposit, make sure it's filled with fuel, and it's
Yeah.
basically it's a cab.
But you get it back at the end.
Right, you get it back at the end, right, that's a good point, Dan, I didn't catch that, yeah.
He's priced out anyway.
All right, so MD Rentals, your last one?
And DD rental is a John Deere 317G, and it's a track one too. Daily is 300, weekly is 1200, and monthly is 2800.
Does that include anywhere the pickup, like the first
No,
one
you
is?
don't do any, we have to pick it up ourselves.
Okay, we have to pick it up.
I can do that. I'm going to do that.
I think I can find somebody to do it, yeah.
What's your recommendation?
My recommendation is the MD, you know, they're local and they're, you know.
No, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Does the fact that it's a track, is that an issue at all?
I don't think so. I had the road commissioner come down with his track to get into the, it's a little tighter because they're a little wider,
Oh, I see.
but it can be, he has fitted in that, in my trailer to lift the cardboard up and stuff.
I guess my question, because this is a rental and that being tighter, is there any risk of that machinery being damaged while it's being rented? Because then we'd have to pay for that. That would be a concern if it is tight.
Well, that's, yeah.
Well, we're gonna have to look over their agreement, we'll have it insured.
I was gonna say that the
With the track machine, you know, he's pushing on the brushes, it'll be a lot better than the rubber tire.
Yeah, but, you know, outside my normal day-to-day job work is, you can do either one. I prefer the round, the tired one, because we have two, if we jump that one or whatever we do with it, them are new tires I just put on there last year, year before last. So them are fairly new tires, and I have a setup at the transfer station too. So I would rather have a real one over a track one.
Is the monthly rate, is that committing for a month, or is that just what it is?
That's just what it
Can you
is.
cancel after 2 weeks and?
I did not have that
Oh, no,
question.
you definitely could.
Yeah, so if for whatever reason it doesn't work out, let's say we went with MD.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work out, you can say,
Yeah,
you can bring it back and.
Right, I
go to the
didn't
next one.
ask that question, I just
I'm
got three
pretty sure
bids.
that,
Yeah.
that thing you can work
These
out.
are local people.
Yeah, I know
We'll reach
they-
out to,
yeah,
we'll look at their contract.
Cost-wise, the only question is, I guess, is the track one gonna fit where you need to, you said you gotta put it in somewhere that might be.
But I gotta put it into the box trailer that I put the cardboard in, and like I said, I had the road commission come down with his, it fits, it's tighter than the wheels.
How much tight? Like that's,
What do you say?
Can't they measure it, David?
You said the MD is the 317?
Yes.
Yeah, that's on, that machine's, is like 4 sizes smaller than mine, so the 317 will fit right in.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
There we go.
And it's
I don't
got
think John Hughes would even know, so.
It's got the horsepower you need to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah,
my
I
concern is
did,
if it was much tighter.
Money-wise, we got plenty of money in their budget line right now
Well, I mean,
to
it's,
do
the new
that.
budget's gonna start, so my goal, for the next 3 business days we have,
Yeah.
is to, we need to pay off John Deere out of the current budget, because you're in good shape.
yeah,
And then we need to get this contract signed. and-
So, what I'm thinking, do we have any idea what is left in his budget lines?
I can't-
I don't wanna put you in the spot,
I haven't had one since the
You
first.
you got the May report.
Maybe before, right, I haven't
There's
memorized.
a reason why I'm not trying to put you on the
I was
spot.
gonna say, this is the third department, we could wait for the fire chief.
Are you saying you don't have it?
Too, so.
I don't have it in front of me now.
Oh, okay.
We went over the.
I have it, it's at the transfer station, so I can get my thing.
Well, the reason why I'm saying this is, my hamster's getting tired, and so we're at the end of the season, okay?
Yeah, right.
If you have
I'm
money left over,
down to 15%.
what's that?
Overall, I'm down to 15%. If I remember right.
Okay, it's got 50% of your budget still.
Right,
Okay.
right, correct.
So,
Total budget.
Right.
why don't we get 50% right here, and you just talk about the snow budget? But, so,
Is it possible we could have this for 6 months?
No, I don't think.
What's the most we'll have?
think so.
what I'm trying to suggest here is,
2 or 3 months.
if we have, see what's left in his budget,
We could use that for.
and we pay, at least, whatever we have, we pay at least a month up on this year's budget line. You know, you know what I'm saying?
So it doesn't count into the next year
Okay.
budget, it's
They
fine.
pre-
If we have the money, we can
1 month.
prepay for at least a month or whatever, because it's gonna be at least a 2-month deal.
Right. We can prepay for 1 month.
So we prepay for 1 month, then we don't have to worry about it burdening next month's,
Right.
next fiscal year. That's the only reason I was asking how much money you have. So,
I'm doing this, all right?
Actually, the reason I was asking
Yeah.
is if you go for multiple months, can you negotiate a better rate?
Possible.
I didn't ask that.
well, you can, what you can do, what you
That's
can
what I'm
do,
getting at, is,
you can do a lease purchase. You can also do a lease purchase.
okay.
Okay, you can do a lease purchase, which Tom Baxter does not need a lease purchase.
No, we don't need, but if you're gonna have 1 month, they've given us a rate. If we think we're gonna have, gee, if we go
3 months, can you do a little better?
what can you give us for a rate? My guess is we'll get a better rate.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt, but I did not ask that question when I was getting the.
No,
So I'm
I'm just saying,
gonna,
we,
Do we think
Yeah,
it could
yeah.
take 3 months?
yes.
huh? Can we go?
I was asking if we thought it could take 3 months.
It all depends
I think by
on,
then, are these things available
Oh,
right
yeah.
away?
for what he's looking for, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I think, you know, if we see it, we just gotta agree whether or not, you know, are we gonna move on from this thing? I think we should.
Well, and the other thing you could do, and not, I mean, conversation for the next meeting, but similar to what you did with, the fire chief, when he had a major piece of equipment go down, I mean, we had him pay it out of his budget, and we just continued to watch it. In his case, with that pump, with everything he had to break down, we still made it to the end. You know, Robin has done impressive with revenues to go into Lambert's and other places. Some of his budget lines weren't spent at all. I mean, you know, as we look at the next month or so, I mean, sometimes.
So we watch it, if we need to
Right,
go back
maybe-
1 month, more
Maybe
money,
it was
we
special
can
town
decide
meeting
that
after
later.
that and purchase it out of the budget, like you did the fire.
Yeah, but you, I would just mention about paying for the skid steer for a month, right? You said we could pay for
We
it.
could do a month.
A month, because in honesty, I mean, if it's being used in August of 24, 25, we can't pay for it out of 23, 24 budget.
Yeah, I wouldn't go much more, I wouldn't go
We can
more
pay
than
for it
1
for a
month.
month, David, because
I gotta
we're
tell
gonna
you,
get this
this
contract.
That could be an issue, but go
We're
ahead.
gonna,
Yeah.
we need it in 23, 24. I'm gonna have it paid for by the end of the fiscal year for 30 days. That, you know, is honest, but.
So what do you
more than a
think is
month.
left in it, what do you think is left in that budget after that? So you take $3,000 out of 2,800 or whatever it is.
Well, he has 63,000. Out of that, he's gotta take off his salaries, he's gotta pay the John Deere, he's got some bills. I mean, he's probably spent about 22,000.
And I had to have non-electric come in and look at one of the balers today, so that's.
But he's
minimal.
still gonna be at 30, 40,000 more.
Do we have any other reserves that could be used for this?
I'll have to check.
Well, so if you have 30, 40,000, I guess we could do the same thing, so we can move on. I thought we were.
What do you mean?
So, like we did with the fire station.
Well, we were
had to
repairing
take it out of his
something.
maintenance, so, as a repair maintenance or whatever it was that we had to take it out of. That's what you're suggesting to do to him, right?
Well, if we had time and we had bids and we're gonna buy a new one before the fiscal year ends, we'll never pull it off at this rate.
Not before the fiscal.
Right, but-
No, I'm talking, we're probably gonna end up having to do a special town meeting for something like that.
I would think.
And that's, I think at this point in time, that's what we do. I thought we may need one for something else.
Well, we have the, fire department main PERS. I mean, we could have something by fall, but all I'm saying is that you could, you know, after the new fiscal year, start the bid process and get it going.
We could allow him, well, we could spend the money if
Right,
we felt need be.
yes,
Then we just hope that we can replenish it need be.
like you did the fire department, exactly.
We can do that.
Exactly.
I have no problem with that.
So let's get the most important thing behind us, while the fiscal year's going on. Let's get that bill paid, let's get the rental for 30 days,
How much is a new one?
50,
That I.
50, 60.
50,
Yeah,
55.
I had Scott that lives up on Acton Ridge, he's a big shot, and John Deere, to get me a quote so I could have it in front of you. I guess you talked to somebody in Auburn,
Yep,
and.
52,000.
Okay, yeah, and
Basic
he just dropped it at there, because I was gonna go to Santa, because I guess Santa has a quote for us, but I didn't go because I had.
What I would do for a quote, 'cause I'm not a big John Deere guy anyways, but
Yeah,
I would.
it doesn't matter, it does the job.
We got Bobcat, we got Kubota,
Yeah.
we got all these other ones, that
Absolutely.
probably what we, Beauregard,
Yeah.
Caterpillar, Nortrax,
52.6 was the quote John Deere sent over.
you know, Volvo, all of them.
Yeah.
And have them, you know, see if they can send us a bid package on the same exact machine, everything, you know, the pound, what do you want, looking for something like 7,000 pound, 8,000 pounds?
Yeah, I could lift 1,800-pound bales.
Okay, so you just need to
Too
know
high.
your,
Yeah.
your lift capacity.
Yeah.
Probably better to have a little more than not enough, but
Yeah.
you wanna make sure it's small enough to get your
Right.
building there.
That is correct.
But what are we gonna do with the old one?
So let's table all that until the July meeting, next July meeting. Let's get through
Okay.
getting some.
Well, I didn't know if the machine is sitting in Nortrax
Yeah.
garage.
It's coming out.
Well, that's
So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, it's gonna have to come home.
What?
Yeah, check.
Oh, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting
Yeah.
about North Country.
Yeah.
Nortrax is a John Deere dealer. that
So you've got somewhere to store it, it can come, we're gonna,
Oh, yeah.
it'll come back home.
It's not gonna cost us anymore.
No.
No, that's why Jen's saying, figure this out, pay them, so that way we're kind of done with.
Right, and they can put it somewhat back together so we can get it on a truck and get it back up here.
They must
We've
have-
got some work to do these next couple days.
Yeah.
Well, they're gonna probably charge us to put it back together, right?
No, it's back together.
Oh, it is.
That's the walk-in, pay and take it home price.
Okay, okay.
That MD, that's the one that you recommended, right?
Yes.
They have a Kubota and a John Deere for the same price.
Yeah.
Is there a reason you're going with the John Deere?
No, that's what he asked me what I already had at the shop, and that's what I told him.
I
This is
see.
what they know how to operate.
It's what, okay.
Yeah, they asked me what I already had, I told him, he said, oh yeah, it's right there. It doesn't make any difference, it's a John Deere, Kubota,
And that.
you know, some people don't like Caterpillars, so I don't.
Oh, okay. So we need a motion on approving the MD rental and we'll move forward with it?
I got another thing.
Wait a minute.
Well, we're gonna make a motion to approve this first.
So I move that we approve, the transfer station administrator to go ahead and rent, John Deere 317G for 2,800 monthly from MD Rental for
Yeah.
1 month,
Not to exceed 2,800.
not to exceed $2,800.
Guess I got a deal.
Seconded.
All in favor? Okay. Well, what you got there, Robin?
That plastic container, whatever the heck you want to call it, I tried to dispose of it a few months ago, that's up against the building. When I was loading the wine and what beer bottles today with my tractor,
Yeah.
with a Fox, well, I tipped over two. That's why, one of the reasons why I need new seats here, but the other reason, I want to get that container out of there and put down back, we're not using it, so I can load the bottles and stuff of a hand jack onto the truck. Without having to do it with a skid steer or whatever in the winter time or whatever.
Is that short dumpster?
Yes.
Tractor company?
Yeah, that was
Right off the loading dock.
right off the loading dock, correct.
Does this require our approval, or is this
No.
just something you should do?
I don't know, I'm afraid,
That's what he wants to do.
Where is he moving it, yeah?
Move it good, move it off to the side.
yeah, that's all I want to do, just move it down back somewhere, and if we go back to use it, well, we can just drag it back up.
Yeah,
When was the last time you used it?
Bob used it when he first took over, I don't know, 10, 15 years
If it
ago.
has to go back at a later date, it can, right?
Yeah, I
So
if you want to.
this is within your
It's a
authority.
judgment call.
If we want to, okay, I just didn't want to do it.
I appreciate you wanting to check it.
You, only permission you have if you end up on the back of a junk truck once.
I just wanted to make sure, so I have the authorization to ask the road commissioner to come down and move it for me?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's it.
Awesome.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you. Okay, we're moving on to open memorial bids.
So this is the memorial bid for the overhaul and improvement of the memorial grounds between the town hall and the church. We sent it to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, ran it a Smart Shopper, Facebook. I got one bid.
People are pretty busy right now.
I mean, one bit better than none.
This is from AHN Landscape. I will scan and send it to you. It's quite detailed. It's only $2,000, but remove all walkway pavers, level, reinstall, remove timber wall, replace timber with granite, straighten all the granite benches and install another bench by the Civil War Memorial, replace ties and stairs, install granite landings, grade hill area, then cover the area in soil conservation, trim away trees and brushes, cost breakdown listed. It's pretty detailed, but I'll send it to you, but it's only $2,000. So I'll send it to you to look over. We do need to,
Should be a couple of zeros on it.
Who's got responsibility for this?
David does, he's municipal grounds.
Okay, so, yeah.
David's my hand.
It's not gonna, I mean, we're gonna bring in hopefully the tree cutting company that the town uses to help clean up the trees, so it's not that portion of it. So it may just be some labor, so, because I met with them, so I'll talk to them.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it sounded like a lot of work for a little bit of money.
Yeah, they don't think it's gonna be as big as it is, so it's gonna
Okay.
take it all out, come back in and.
Oh, great. Well, that's the case.
Landscaping. That may be part of it, they're trying to get back to the community to some extent, they might
That's
act.
nice.
Oh, okay, thank you.
That's great.
Okay, well, I'm sure we'll be in touch with us. Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, where are we?
We're on E.
Bids.
Only on E.
Yes, I know.
Pitney Bowes, is that, how's that?
Pitney Bowes, yes. Pitney Bowes, similar to CMP, is the only posted meter company. Like CMP is your only choice of electricity these days. We have a posted meter in the middle office. We have completed a 5-year lease with them, probably about a year ago. I put it off as long as I can. Now they're not gonna service it and let us refill postage anymore because, like your cell phone, they want you to upgrade. So,
Is this the kind of meters you take to the post office?
well, we run all of our mail through it and just put it in the mailbox, and we get cheaper, like if it costs you 70 cents at the post office, it costs us 67. So right now, we're paying $42 a month. We're actually going down to the smallest meter, it's only $28.49 a month. They've only got 2 options, one's the $28 mail station, the other one is $98, it does things we don't need it to do. So I'm looking for the board to support this. It is a 5-year lease, because that's all they do.
Just a straight
$28.49.
lease, not a lease purchase. Okay.
So that's for how much?
$28.49, we budgeted for 42 because we were already paying it, just for a different machine.
Okay. Okay. Do we have a motion?
The alternative is to have staff go to the post office every time we need to mail something.
So what I don't even know what I'm
I'm sorry, we're paying $36.15 right now.
I move that we sign the Pitney Bowes contract for a smaller machine at $28.49
For 5 years.
for 5 years.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's your mail station.
That's what.
Here it is.
That's great, Dana.
Okay.
You want to hear a second on that?
I'll second that.
All in favor? Commercial halls application.
Yes, there's a place for you guys to sign.
We gotta sign these up first.
Commercial hauler is Travis Penny. He got all his paperwork in, insurance, liability, yeah, thumbs up, brother. Made the deadline, all is well. He's met all the requirements based on the ordinance. We've had no issues, so looking for a motion to approve his commercial hauler for another year.
Make a motion, we approve.
Should we sign this first before?
Yeah, we,
go to
Jeff,
anything?
you
Because we
cross where you
can't,
want.
yes, we can't find where we're supposed to sign.
No, we signed in the wrong place in the GO.
Well, that, it says Lisi's signature.
Okay.
That's why.
Oh, I thought it was Pitney Bowes signature.
It goes on the right, but Lisi is on the left. Yeah, that's it right
Oh,
there.
that little spot like
The
that.
penny for, you know.
You have to point it out. Just a couple of you sign, I'll fill in the rest.
Yeah,
No,
it
on to
takes-
the next.
Takes one moment to do 2 minutes. 5 minutes. That's how Just sign everything appropriate.
Five by the signatures.
You're running out of room, you know.
You only got a couple. I think we only need 3. So I got them all. Okay. All right, there you go.
Okay.
Come on.
Commercial halls application. Travis, got everything in?
Yes, sir.
Everything's all in?
Good.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion, we accept, Travis, we renew Travis Penny's commercial halls permit.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. This damn, keep this spot for you.
Ooh, I like this.
Put your names on it.
There you go, all by ourselves.
We are missing one though, I think. I don't know if John's name is.
John's not on there yet?
Figure it out.
Is it on that now? I'm pretty sure.
Your name is on there. The bottom. Give it back to me.
Don't be, what's that word? Gaslighting us over the judge word.
I just want to make sure you're reading it.
God, what does that mean?
I don't know what that means.
I'm sorry, what is gaslighting? Is that what you need? Do you need my
Well,
signature?
no,
Very
yours
popular
too.
thing, if you want to learn about the history of it. How many people know that about it?
And you were correct, John, your name was not on there. And now, but I know why, because he took the application out before the election.
Yeah, we have to be elected sooner.
It is dated
So-
6/10.
Nothing personal, John.
Okay, we're gonna go down to G, warrant finance request resignations
Alright, okay.
and opening.
All kinds of things going on here. No. All right, so the first thing we need to do is accept 2 resignations. So you've got John Dennekamp, because of his election to Warren Finance, and then you have Lee Robitor's alternate member resignation because he was elected as a regular member.
Okay.
So
do
he's
that
gotta resign and then,
Let's just get him
okay, yeah,
resigned.
okay. Here you go. And, want to do these?
You could just make a motion to accept them.
Make a motion to accept Lee Robichaud's resignation from the Warrant and Finance as an alternate,
Yes.
effective 6/30/2000. That position
Yes.
expired
Yes.
6/30/2025.
Second.
All in favor?
And for John's, that would be immediately just because he's on.
Yes.
Okay, so I move to accept John Dennekam's resignation from the Warren Finance Committee effective immediately.
Seconded.
All in favor? Yeah, and then
One
one
abstention.
abstention. Yep.
Can't vote on yours.
You abstained. Yep.
No.
Oh, no, we don't do it.
Yeah, just, yeah.
Okay, so what that did, so Joyce Baskey, Joe Ruma are on there until June of 2026. John Dennekamp was a regular member through June 30th of 2026. That's when his term ended. With his resignation, the ordinance says to find an alternate that has the same expiration. That alternate is the newly elected Lori Woods. So she was an alternate elected from 7/1 of 2024 to June 30th of 2026. So although she hasn't had to play alternate yet, she's going to get moved up to a regular member. So she goes up there. Leslie, I'm sorry?
That's fine, I continue.
Leslie was re-elected 7/1/24 to June 30th of 2027. Mr. Hydeck's spot was taken by Dennis Long through June of 2027. And then Lee Robitor was elected as a regular member 24 to 27. So that leaves you with 2 alternate Warren Finance seats open. So I'm just here to tell you that I'm going to be advertising those. They'll come before the board. Tom is my liaison with Warren Finance. So we'll get him meeting with interested people and we'll bring that back for you.
Sounds good.
David's got this look.
No, I do. So, Lee was our alternate last year, correct?
Right.
He got elected at
But
the
he got
town
elected
meeting.
regular.
But what I don't understand is how, and Lori, the one that they're putting up fine, I just think it's kind of odd that if somebody's already on the committee, you would think the person that was already on the committee would move up before somebody who's never been on it before.
Who's not moving up?
Maybe I'm wrong, is Lee moving up?
Lee is a regular member.
Oh, he's already now.
He got elected, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you said he was an alternate, no.
He was an alternate, at town meeting, he got elected
Okay,
a regular.
good, just clarifying that, I guess I skipped something there.
Okay, so that takes care of that, so we'll
Yep.
advertise for 2. On June 13th, we received an email from Warren Finance, well, it looks like it went to pretty much all the selectmen, sorry, John, not quite you yet. But it wanted month-ending reports from Mark Roy, which we did, we sent them all the reports. Warren Finance will be preparing a line item analysis for the upcoming budget season. We are requesting year-end reports showing line items for fiscal year 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23, and 24 when complete. Thank you in advance for your prompt attention.
Okay.
So, my first concerns first is that the previous direction of the board, and this can change as board members change, so please, Warren Finance, when you talk to my board, is that in the past there had to be there should be direction from the Warren Finance to request all these things. They haven't had a meeting unless I missed it, so I don't know how, when it says we are requesting year-end reports, this is a lot of new members on it. We haven't elected the chair yet, none of these new seats take effect until 7/1, so I'm just not sure how you want me to handle it.
My suggestion to Jennifer, when I spoke to her about this was, we got new members coming in, everybody should be on the same page as everybody else, nobody should be requesting anything until there's actually a meeting to actually make a request. And honestly, at the end of the day, if you read the ordinance says to, the warrant that is placed in front of you, well, there's no warrant articles. So I don't know what they need all this information for if there's no articles to deal with. So myself, at the end of the day, I don't know why we're giving any information for anything at this point in time.
Well, the board did do a blanket approval, and I want to point you to a policy that you have, because the policy hasn't been looked at in 3 years, and maybe that's something that you want to do, but twofold. She did make a request to get Mark Roy reports anytime they come, and you guys agree with that. So that piece is done, so that's why she's getting those. But there is a policy, and it does clearly say, any member of the Warren and Finance may make a request for information of any department in town to the chair of the Warren and Finance. The selectmen have waived the need for the Warren and Finance to vote on said request, so she could have gotten a call. The chair of the Warren and Finance shall then contact the town administrator, shall request his or her committee members. The town administrator will immediately begin working on the request and does not need to wait for selectmen approval. Once the information is gathered, the town administrator will email all information to the entire committee. If the Warren and Finance prefer to have hard copies, they can let us know. The Board of Selectmen encourages communications, and the policy is intended to ensure that all information and documents essentially go to everybody. So
That's a policy.
that's a policy. So the
But we
question
have
is,
an ordinance though.
right, but you got two different things. There was talk about reconsidering that policy. Do you want the Warren and Finance to have to vote on requesting these things?
Why don't we take care of that a little later? I wouldn't deal with the policy right now. I would suggest the Warren and Finance Committee meet.
Right, but based on policy, then we need to do what they're asking now. Based on policy.
So what I'm thinking is, we just told the department head that she couldn't do anything until her committee met, okay? What we've done is, we've opened the door up so one individual could just go rogue, okay? You can ask for all this stuff, without having any of the committee.
That's why I
involved.
asked you if you want to reconsider the policy.
I think it's something we should look into at some point.
But you're absolutely right. The flip side of that is the ordinance that very clearly talks about the Warren and Finance's duties, and they reference the warrant articles.
Yeah.
I guess my question is, you said that policy's been 3 years since, when was that policy put in place, and what was the reason behind
Well,
that
the reason that we put the
policy?
policy in place is because they were, if I recall, they were under the gun. There was a lot of, didn't feel like they were getting the information, or maybe we weren't providing it as quickly, but it was a time-sensitive matter that they temporarily dissolved.
Well, I'd like an opportunity to meet with the Warren and Finance Committee on this. 7 years. I've been doing budgets for decades. I've never done a 7-year budget analysis.
Yeah,
This,
that was
and
another-
not only when they do the analysis, they're gonna have all kinds of questions. So they're gonna wanna go back 7 years and have the staff here try to respond to, why is this up this much, this down this much? And I just want an opportunity to talk to them, to understand what they're trying to do, okay? So Joyce, do you need to talk about this?
Yeah, I do.
So, I have no problem with that,
Yeah.
but I'd like to see a meeting first. That's all I want to see.
Well, absolutely, well, I'd like to have the meeting, I'd like to be there, I'd like to understand what it is, whoever this is, maybe it's the chair, or maybe someone else, I'd like to understand what it is they're trying to do. Because this is not just an effort for Warren and Finance, this is a huge effort for the town. And I think we have a responsibility to make sure that that has merit, and it is worth the hours upon hours that are gonna be spent doing this.
Then, before Joyce goes on, my only request would be that you either temporarily dissolve the policy, or at least make a public, statement, because this only comes down on the town administrator not following policy, right? Based on how it's
Jennifer,
worded.
may I, before you go further?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, thank you.
I thought you were waiting for me.
I'm going to say not the committee. I do believe, my memory serves me right, and John might know this, that we did ask to see the end of month for the last fiscal year. Now, I don't know if the person in charge did ask you for that or not, but in that case, I think it would have been May and June. would be the one, just so we see how the budget worked out.
Yeah.
It would give us.
You're
that
talking about the Mark
information.
Lloyd stuff, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
yeah,
you have all that now, you've been sent all that.
okay, but that's what we asked for.
Right, you have that.
The committee asked for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But as far as going back 7 years, no, the committee did not
Which
ask.
is,
But based on policy, the committee doesn't have to.
But that's what I'm saying,
So-
because some of us said, that's not our purview, that's not our real.
I just want to, look, they made a request, and I think we need to understand the rationale behind that request. And I'm happy to go
I'm saying
and
one
listen to
person
them.
made it.
Huh?
I think-
Well, regardless.
Okay.
Regardless, if one person or five, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I'd like to understand what they're asking for and why. And have they thought about the effort associated with a 7-year line item analysis? Because no one's gonna remember why this went up and that went down, and somebody's gonna have to go back through and look at source documents to see, well, what was expended here, or, it's just, I don't get it, but let's give them their day in court. So I'll be there, I'll listen to it, and I'll come back with a recommendation.
So-
I think that's fair that they meet. I think for now, and based off of that, I think we should suspend that policy so that Jennifer doesn't get held accountable in
Well, I
trouble.
think we could just say that we're gonna suspend this item until we've had a chance to
Until the
review it.
meeting, yeah.
And we know it's against policy, but we're just setting that policy aside on this item until there's an opportunity to clarify it. I wouldn't eliminate the policy.
I didn't say eliminate, I said suspend until we can get more
Okay, well,
conversation and go back and get to the.
Whatever, however you
Even if
wanna
you want
word
to
it.
suspend it based on this one email. I
We're not
think
gonna do
that-
anything until we meet with them. So
Exactly.
however you want it
But the
worded.
problem is if we wait until we meet with them, then they can claim that we're not following policy.
Right, because it's your
still
policy,
in
and it
place.
says that the
So
town
that's why
administrator.
I think this conversation makes it very clear why we aren't doing it, so at least it does to me. I don't know what
I think
you
so,
feel.
but we're just
Just cover
covering.
it to make sure that
Okay.
she's all set.
Ask
Maybe,
for more,
would you,
just say, ask for more clarification. And that-
But I think that would be
Policy or
what Tom
anything.
would say, is the Board of Finance. I think that's where we're gonna get that clarification, was it the committee, which you shared your part and you've seen this email, but having that answered, saying, was this a committee that wasn't formed because you weren't in your seats, or is this something that's in what was?
But the
getting
policy
presented?
says they don't have to.
But that's why I'm saying we should suspend it until then, until the opportunity to get those
you
answers.
guys got any input on
Thank
this?
you.
That way, nobody can come and say, Jen, this is the
Go ahead,
policy,
suspend
and
it.
have complaints or whatever.
Suspended? One of them,
What is the?
so their first meeting is scheduled for when?
There is no date.
Well, then
Suspend it.
want to make a motion to suspend this policy until the first warrant finance meeting.
Do we have a policy number or
Just a
policy?
warrant finance request for internal information policy.
Okay. So I move that we suspend the warrant and finance request for internal information policy until the first warrant and finance committee meeting of
Till
the.
after.
Till after the first warrant and finance committee meeting of the 2024-2025 fiscal year.
Okay, second? Second. All in favor? Okay. Okay, we got appointments.
The first round is for the cemetery committee.
They all the same
Those are all,
sheets.
yep.
Cemetery committee.
Oh, wow, we're making our way down.
See those?
There's three of them, right?
Correct.
Okay, I'll make a motion to appoint Steve Perello, Tracy Lavassa, and Joe Carter for 6/30/2025 to the cemetery committee.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, we can sign it.
He's already on it. He was already on it. He's been on it for years. I sent an email asking if everybody wanted to be reappointed.
Do it one more, yeah.
You want me to do it? You want me to do it?
Yeah, go ahead, yeah.
I'll start this one while we're signing. Take a motion to appoint the following individuals to the Mary Grant Committee for a term ending 6/30/2025. Richard Neal, Kelly Collins, Virginia Dubois, Dan Crampit, and Candy Crampit.
It was,
Seconded.
All in
No,
favor?
did you have something?
well, did we just have, was Linda in there?
Yes, but because they just got reappointed, we'd already done that until June.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure she was, because I didn't hear her name, I knew she was on the
So
committee.
we got a second from Ed? Yep. All in favor? Okay.
And the same with the cemetery, we're still waiting to hear back from a couple people, so you may still have some lingering ones. Try to get as many in by June 30th as I could.
Good.
Pass them down.
You're hogging the appointment
So
still.
that's I got them organized last
Doing a pretty good job too, so. I'm just so used to this spot.
I was trying to help you, you know? I don't think Evan and John need help.
Your next appointment, David, is for Richard Smith, the EMA director. It is only for a 6-month appointment as we are working out the details of the job description. So he did agree to 6 months while we sorted it out and met with him.
I'll make the appointment for Rich Smith as our EMA director for until 8/31/24.
9 days, I'm sorry, 9 days.
Second.
All in favor?
Just gotta get out of that list.
They want all problem at one time.
Yeah. Keep the train moving.
Okay, we all done the appointments here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're gonna go down to MMA legislative ballot.
Several weeks ago, our own Daniel Norwood showed an interest in being on the Maine municipal legislative policy across the state. Municipalities have the option of sending in candidates, and you will see by your official ballot in front of you that Daniel's name appears. So we're looking for a motion to cast a vote for him and send it back to Augusta.
I'll make a motion to cast the Board of Select Board to vote for Daniel Norwood to serve as representative for the Maine Municipal Association's Legislative Policy Committee.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Congratulations.
Moving up the world, man.
Thank you for doing this. Really important.
I think we'll be excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I sign?
No.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm just on the
Yeah,
side.
see,
okay.
I-
yeah.
I thought you were gonna do it, would you mind too? And you'll be able to read it. I think my agenda just took off. Oh, I got it right here.
So you got them all. Have everything crossed out too, so you can find your spot easily.
No, I used to do that, but then I lose track.
Maybe we just need like a writing, something that reads out for people.
For a while there, I go like this, because I could read, my eyes all blurry.
Maybe need glasses.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking at some point, might have to try that out. trying to hold off as much as possible. Okay, we are down to Blueberry Hill contract.
This I was hoping to give you for a signature, however, we have not received it back. Deadline that we requested was yesterday. I followed up with a phone call, did not get a response. The current contract does go till July 10th, so I'll continue to follow up the next couple days, so that will be tabled for now.
North Star planning contract.
So this is the North Star company that your code officer spoke about earlier. It's a renewal for the upcoming year. Compensation rates did go up $10 an hour for each of the different planners and administrative, but they're looking to.
What did we spend last year on North Star? It wasn't a whole lot.
No, because probably 90% of what we paid in North Star comes out of escrows from the project property owner. So
Pretty much.
we don't spend a whole lot.
Well, we pretty much the only time we really use North Star is when we bring
Like when we do our zoning and we have
planning
our-
board stuff, we'll have them come down off the planning board.
But if they're coming down because of somebody's project, we're billing that escrow, so we're not paying it anyway, so. So we're just looking for a motion.
So all these went up $10 an hour?
Yes.
Is this like a similar price increase to the previous years that we?
They went up $10 an hour last year as well.
So that's gonna give up $10 an hour next year?
Jason and I had that conversation today when he reviewed the numbers, and he did say that he would start, he would have a conversation with them in the Southern Maine Regional as.
I was gonna say, did we have a conversation this time?
Because that's a lot. He was talking about starting to use Southern Maine Regional more anyway.
Yeah, he's got,
And they're free.
well, we pay dues to them,
We pay dues, but
there are reasons that he likes one over the other that I might encourage him to meet with his liaison on.
Have they been going up regularly?
The last 2 years they've gone up. Before that, they were the same for several years.
They were.
They were.
But $10 an hour, like, I got that every year, damn.
Well, the rates are, for instance, a planner, I don't know which of these positions we use the most.
The top two.
The top two. Okay, so they're $150, $160 an hour, so at $10 an hour, I think that's about 6%. 6% increase.
Maybe you should go look for them.
I would encourage next year that we have a conversation with
Well
them
in
about their
advance.
billing rates,
I will
okay?
make sure of that.
So-
And like I said, we're lucky that the department is running as smoothly as it is. Even with the applicants, we're not using them a whole lot.
Where they had gone a number of years without an increase,
Right.
and they may be playing catch up, and I assume that's what's going on. So what do you want, a motion?
Yes,
A motion to approve this agreement with North Star?
yes.
Make a motion to approve an agreement to re-engage North Star for planning services based on a proposal dated June 14th, 2024.
Second.
all in favor?
And it is just a one-year contract, so we'll keep a close eye on it.
Oh. Gotta see after this. So,
This is that.
What's that?
are you gonna talk about this?
Please.
Yes, okay.
Wait for them to get signed up, and then we'll go on to this one here. Okay, we're gonna go to the CRP enrollment grant.
So the CRP enrollment grant this is a community resilience program. What was it?
Community resilience.
Partnership, okay.
Okay.
This is a process through York County that they have reached out to Acton and several communities about going through this self-evaluation to determine if we can apply for grants, if we'll qualify for different grants. The grants range from anything from electric cars to, we saw some with solar, some towns that were getting solar panels on their roof. It's a big wide variety. It's something that's been going on for several months. There is a lot of legwork into getting Acton signed up based on staffing shortages that we've had over the last few months. It was the decision of the board really that not to pursue it. Because it's to possibly write a grant, to possibly get it. I mean, there's a lot to it to get to the end. We did get an email a day or two ago, I guess, essentially saying, let's give Acton one more little push. friendly push to see if we can get them to do the self-evaluation, put some time in it, let's have a couple of community meetings and see if we can raise some interest in this. So during the board's 5 o'clock workshop, I had a conference call with Alex so that they could better understand what exactly they had to offer, whether we worked with Shapley or on our own. We kind of talked about what the steps might be. So with the board's approval and just my opinions, I'm happy to go through the 15 pages of self-evaluation before Friday and mark them as I see fit. What that would do from there is create a community meeting, either with Shapley or on your own. And then she would kind of walk you through it from there. But it's something that's going to take some effort from a board member or two. And the community is really going to have to work towards bringing some ideas to the table to shadow, you know, what we might use this money for if we apply for the grants, which the towns do be applying. So I think that sums it up.
Are you stating that you're able to complete this self-evaluation piece, or do you need assistance with it?
I can fill it out if you're gonna trust that I'm gonna, because I'm gonna.
Do you want someone to review it?
Well, no, I mean,
evaluation.
well, it's evaluation, there are a lot of yes or no questions, and then the 10-page one on the second is.
I think it's
you're-
project ideas, I thought.
Well, you're checking you're supposed to check the ideas that you feel the community would be best served. So I'm saying that I'm gonna use my opinion on what I think Acton would be best served and go through it out to the best of my abilities. Or we can start on page 1 and start reading them aloud and you guys can vote on them.
I believe this is a very preliminary submission. And so if something is checked or not checked, really doesn't prevent us from changing that through our public process.
Which is the-
So it's just to start the process. I'm very comfortable with Jennifer doing that. I'm happy to answer any questions if you want to check in on me, but my guess is you'll know as much about it as I do.
I trust, you know.
So if we get this over to her by Friday, they will schedule community meetings. So the question is, do you want, you know, so as I understood it, and correct me if I'm wrong, so we send this over and then the next step is a community meeting. You can qualify for up to 50,000 alone or 125,000 with Shapley. But Shapley and Acton would have to brainstorm to come up with 5 of the same top projects.
So what I get out of it is we do the evaluation, but before you do the community meeting forum, we would have to decide whether or not we're going in or out, because that would decide whether or not they would be part of that forum.
Right, exactly.
So
Exactly.
what we have to do is decide whether or not, I don't know, if we have, probably after, how's that?
Let me, if, for an extra $12,000, if it requires that we come up with a joint project, I think that will end up limiting the kinds of things that we may want to consider. However, I think we should start on our own. Let Shapley do theirs. We can compare notes. If we feel we have something that's a priority for both of us, we can combine it after that. But we ought to do our own investigation first.
No, I agree.
So we'll have a community meeting separately.
For Acton, and we keep an eye on what Shapley, you'll keep in touch with them over there, and if we want to get together on it, you can, but my guess is for another $12,000, we'll probably end up choosing a project that isn't our highest priority.
I think we'll probably end up making the process more confusing.
Yeah, and that too.
Especially because there's conversations, if we were to do a joint meeting, it would be held in Shapley with no one in town. I think that would make it difficult for Acton to have its voice heard.
Oh, do you want to speak?
Hi, I'm Dell Scritchfield. So I've done a lot of 319 grants, seen my name on the mail notes for this because I had reached out early on about getting additional grants for Tattle Street. We've been working on lake improvement, the dust in the road, that kind of thing.
But so this can't be used for that though?
No, I'm just giving you some background.
Yeah.
So anyway, when I reached out and I said I wanted to get involved in other grants, they mentioned this. So I said that I would be more than willing to help. I sent you all emails, 3 or 4 or 5 of them. I understand you had staffing shortages, but if you're willing to move forward with this, and from what I understand, York County Soil and Water really would do the bulk of the work to get this organized and to get town meetings set up and, surveys and things like that. So the big hurdle is just getting that initial paperwork filled out. And I don't even know if it has to be by Friday, she might have said by Friday. I think she wants a commitment by Friday, or she has to send the money back that they've earmarked for Acton. So my feeling is that we should go after grants, all the grants that we can. This grant would pay for LED lights, mini splits, all that, not all of it, but some of the things that were targeted from that engineering firm that came in here and said, this is what we need, this is $50,000 that would pay for that stuff. So I think we need, really as a town, need to make an effort to do this kind of stuff.
Sounds like we're gonna do that.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
And I will be glad to help. Just let me know what I can do to help.
Well, I'm sure we'll call on you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, it could be some modernizing buildings, so.
Public comment first, so I think. Okay, we're gonna executive session, do I hear a motion?
I move that we go into executive session MRSA 4056 personnel issue at 7:41 PM.
Second.
All in favor? We'll be back up shortly. Boy, that does sound good.
Must have left it in the other room.
They did. Alright, I'm gonna go home and have supper.
Fine, need them. How much is that?
Oh, yeah, I couldn't believe I took all them two skids of logs in the middle of the dooryard.
But I think the way you said it was kind of like, well, you know, in and out.
Yeah, it was a mess.
Yeah, but it was like, say la vie. That's life. It's like today, I was in Portland, and I saw a parking place, and there was a guy with a parking attendant shirt on, and I said, is this open? And he said, yeah, if you can parallel park and get it in there. And he even stands there and looks at me and says, perfect.
Yeah.
And I get out with 3 other women. We go in to eat. He says, have a good lunch. Thank you. And I come out and there's a $65 ticket on my window. And the parking attendant is still there. So I said, oh my God, this is still filming.
Yeah.
Better watch my language, excuse me. So I said, you are a parking lot attendant, you didn't do this. So we got it straightened out, and he said I wasn't going to be charged. I just hope he was telling me the truth.
Yeah.
Because now every time I go to the post office, I'm
Yes,
going to be looking for a letter, city, Portland parking.
Yeah.
Oh, no. It's like, unbelievable. I will say that all 4 women, me and the 3 others, we did threaten him. But we know where you work, and if you don't get this fixed, because I had to go home and tell my husband.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, worse and worse. But knocking over those 2 things, I'd have rather done that than get a parking ticket.
Yeah. Well, it just made us such a mess.
Yeah.
I mean, I had more glass on my
Oh, that
and
must have been, that must have been.
and I did on the truck. Well, maybe not quite, but
No, that must have been.
my little track bench, it just, yeah.
So,
Hmm?
I got a question for you.
Yep.
I have a trash trailer that I was supposed to have some of my committee members were going to empty for me last year. and
That's
never did.
up there.
Yeah, it's actually in one of the dugouts.
Oh,
Is there a way that we'd be able to empty that. It's one of the big metal ones, I can't lift it if I wanted to.
Alright.
I haven't got my strength back yet.
Is it unlocked, are they locked, or
We can cut.
can you just put it up, can somebody, your committee, put it outside, and then when I go by, I'll try to get it in my truck?
Yeah, I can try, we're supposed to be going to meet there on Sunday, if everybody should.
On Sunday, maybe I'll come right down and some of us can, 2 or 3 of us can get it in my truck.
Because we're supposed to be there at 9 AM.
Okay.
And see someone.
On Sunday,
Yeah.
9 AM.
You
Supposed to
got
do the
that.
inventory.
Huh?
You got
Oh,
that.
yeah. I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
sleep.
you open.
Yeah, I don't sleep. No, we don't open till noon time on Sundays.
See, so I began to think a lot.
I don't sleep that much.
What else?
I slept in for the first time yesterday morning until 10, because I didn't sleep at all the night before.
Yeah.
I was off on my meds for like 3 or 4 days.
I did that. I just didn't sleep one night last week. The night yesterday, not yesterday, the day before. I got out of bed at 10:30. I think I fell asleep about 5.
I tried to fall asleep, and I remember I looked at the clock, and it was 6 o'clock. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And I ended up just getting up to start the day because I had to.
Oh,
And then that next night, I was, like, I remember I went to, I told the kids we were going to bed early, so we went to bed at like 8:30. And I remember at 11:30, my youngest woke up crying. So I went over to, help her out, and she was covered in sweat. I'm like, over it, here we go. And I barely remember because I was so zonked myself. Like, I laid back down, and it was like, next thing I know, it was 9:47 or something like that. And I'm like, whoa.
I'm that tired though. Sometimes I can't fall asleep.
Yeah.
Because you just, and you're better off just keep going because you will hit a wall.
See, I went and I was zonked, like having a hard time staying awake because I tried to take me a nap earlier that day, it didn't work.
Oh, that only happens when you get older, okay? When you get older, you got a couple of years to go. It's like, there's something about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And it doesn't matter if you're driving or what you're doing. You can just close your eyes.
The medical that I have now, I will hit like a wall where there's no changing your eyes mind.
Yeah.
And you just have to lay down and pass out.
Yeah.
So.
But see, I've been on some meds where I'm just, I had to get, what is on both my knees,
I can do it.
and I am just awake.
That's good. But sorry, I've got arthritis and I'm trying to figure out what else. And right now I'm on prednisone again.
Yeah, but see, cortisone keeps me awake.
It does if I take it a certain way, but right now it does pretty good. But I also take 10 milligrams of melatonin every night. But I'm also on tryptophan, which is a drowsy
I
one.
take 40 milligrams of melatonin in a sleeping pill.
And it doesn't do anything, does it?
Not much.
Unison? Have you tried these?
Yeah.
They told me to take when I was pregnant, Unison and the vitamin B12 pill. If you took those 2 together, it was supposed to help with morning sickness. Yeah, it made me want to pass out. I'm like, but isn't it going to make me tired? And I'm like, no, you'll be fine. I went to work that day and I was like, oh, I was really tired.
You're not pregnant, so don't do it.
I can make a lot of money if I want.
You know what you take, everyone says take NyQuil.
Yeah.
I can do
You
it.
say NyQuil.
Z-Quil, I take Z-Quil too.
Yeah,
On top of all
the
that.
regular.
I can't
I
take
sleep for
those.
about 2.5 hours, and then I watch TV
How about a
for,
nice single malt scotch?
huh?
A nice single malt scotch.
Yeah.
Do you sleep with the TV on?
Yeah,
Turn it off.
I can.
You've got to. I
Good,
told my
I
husband
work-
that too. I'm like, turn the TV off
Yeah.
because with the light in that, it actually messes up your personal melatonin. You're supposed to have a little bit away from it. Like my husband's like, I got tossed and turned all night. I'm like, yeah, turn the TV off. Turn it off.
We've got a thing
I
like,
just lay there, stare at the ceiling and don't, yeah.
we just moved our bedroom from one bedroom room to another. And it's where our office was set up. And we've got these routers and thingies, and we've got these little lights flickering. And then I just got this new bedroom fan. It's Duke of the Dyson. It doesn't have blades. It comes from Aldi, so it costs like $50 now. And it's fabulous. There are no blades to it, and it's quiet. It's got this blue light on
Oh, that would drive me crazy.
it. So I've got the yellow internet lights on the thingy over here going. I've got the blue one over here. And that was being really helpful.
There's electrical tape on the lights.
That's a good idea.
I was gonna say, put a safety on that.
Yes. But you have this, he got these things that if you plug them into a plug, they emit something that keeps dust and mold and kind of stuff. You know, like you have them for insects, you could put them.
Right, yeah.
That has a damn light on it. Oh my God. So I feel like I'm in the middle of an intersection with,
Oh, I keep covering them all. I can't, I hate having any lights on. If I have any lights on in my room, I have to have a fan on because I have to have that white noise. Just don't give me a light.
no, the other thing is, I've never put curtains in my bedroom or blind, I don't shut them.
See, I don't shut my curtains, but like downstairs, so we've got a log cabin, so
That's what I
upstairs.
have.
And then we go down the stairs, and my door's always open because my daughter's room is right across from it.
Yeah.
And downstairs in the living room, if you leave just one of those little lanterns on the side on, I cannot sleep. Like if I fall asleep, I might sleep for like a half an hour and I'm awake again because that stupid light is on. I cannot sleep with any lights on.
We have which I like, is our fire and CO2 things.
Yeah, I have it.
When you walk under them, they come light on for you, so you can see where you're going.
Oh, I think mine don't do that.
See, that's kind of cool, but that drives me crazy.
Oh, yeah. I walk under one and the light goes on.
Your eyes were already adjusted to the dark and then you gotta readjust to the light. And then readjust to the dark.
And then if I walk by the master thermostat thing that controls all the others,
Yeah.
that light goes on. There's no. It's just crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But if they don't come out soon, we're going home. God almighty.
I just want to know what the last part's about.
Oh,
Like, I know what it's about, but I want to know, like, what they have to say.
Oh, what?
who is it? Is it the animal control?
Yeah,
So I figured,
I did that. I don't want to do it again.
Nobody's gonna please do it.
When I did it, I got $100 a year.
Well, I was looking at it,
That was back in the 70s.
between
Yeah.
here and Shapley, I think it's what, 24 a year?
Something like that. I don't know
But
what
it's,
it was.
but I don't know if that's like the complete budget of everything that he's allowed, including the stipend, or,
Yeah, I don't know.
like, cause that's, think about the hours that he did, that's crazy.
Mhm.
you make your own hours in that job.
Yes,
Well,
but
kinda,
it depends
sorta.
on how many animals are out.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
You could get a call at 11 o'clock at night because there's something.
Yeah.
You know, you could
If
get no
you're-
calls for 4 days. and then you could get.
If your cat's out at 11 o'clock at night, just know the coyotes are gonna get it, whatever.
Well, okay, here's a perfect example. Think back to Spirit Shadow.
No,
Think of all the hours that we put in for that. And then we wound up with 2 adoption situation. I need a Aurora. I gotta register one. I'll register it.
I think you're late.
Well, no, we didn't have them before. We've had them since January 27th. I was working with Jim, with kind of making sure that they were okay, because I wanted to get them spayed and vaccinated before
Right.
registering them.
Yeah.
So now that they're fully done, I can register. Or just hang out, not ever. I don't know if they've found somebody or. It's one of those thankless jobs sometimes.
I think people who do that particular job do it from their heart. You know, and it just doesn't matter what the pay is. You have to have a deep love for what you're doing, and to be caring.
Well, that was about the same pay that I was getting as a technician.
I know.
Like, it's ridiculous pay, and then you get people that are always, oh, you're in it for the money and this and that, and it always make you feel guilty.
But
And
people,
it's like, you can never do right, and then there's the others that everything, like, I still have pet sitting clients that I do, that were my clients back when I was a tech.
yeah, that is, but that's what I mean, that you can never be paid enough for certain jobs. And, you know, I mean, we have a neighbor whose daughter wanted exactly that. She started in high school working with a vet, and she got out. And then she had to euthanize some animals.
It's not easy.
And that was it.
Well, so we've had, oh gosh, I did 16 years of being tech, and of those years, I can't tell you how many college kids would come in that had never been in there. They'd never been in a vet practice before in their life, before deciding they wanted to go to school for being a tech. And then they would come in to do their clinicals, and that was it. Because they would see that it's not all puppies and kittens that they always thought. And then, you know, you have this nasty cat or nasty dog that you can't get close to, that you have to corral in the pens, and you have to pinch him in the pens to be able to give him an injection into his butt. And it's like, what you, and then you have those ones that you have to euthanize, you have behavioral euthanasias. And those ones are, when you're young and you first start, you feel like you can save everybody, and you don't agree with any of them until you start learning all of the fundamentals. That was I think one of the hardest parts for me, was learning about, behavioral euthanasias and how to process with them. I actually joined a Facebook page that is full of people that did behavioral euthanasias. And as a technician, being able to kind of give my insight to it, and then also be able to expose more techs to that, so that they're all more open-minded versus, well, you can't euthanize your cat, you're just making it up. It really wasn't that situation.
My sister has raised all kinds of dogs, everything from standard poodles to Venezuelan hairless ugly dogs.
They're cute.
The uglies they're uglies.
Little spur.
Oh my God, yeah. And she was one of the first, I don't know what they called her. She brought Portuguese water dogs into this country. She was, yeah. And she had clients all over the place. She lived in Denver, the outskirts, and she's now in South Carolina. And she just has her pets, but she does have a woman who owns a grooming and boarding place. She does the training. I mean, she's
There's one lady.
she is such a trainer. I flunked training one time. I had 2 short-haired poodles. Short-haired.
Have a good night. Bye, Rosie, you too.
Short-haired German poodles. And those dogs.
They have to have something to do.
Yeah, they ate the cedar shingles off the side of my house. They ate my kitchen one time. Every cabinet was rounded on the bottom.
It's just trying to help redecorate.
Yeah, well, I had always wanted to redecorate, and I did after that. But then they got into a cabinet, because they used to corral them in the house. They had lots of room. And they got into a cabinet that supposedly was locked on the top, and they ate dishwashing detergent. I get home and these 2 dogs are like, one's convulsing, one's just, and I get them to the bed, and their stomachs pumped. And 22 hours later,
That's pretty good for 2.
and, well, this was years ago. Then I had to go home, and when they were 2 and a half, I had to just say, so they play anesthesia. And they said, "Do you need stuff?" I said, "No." And I had pictures of them, I had everything. And I said, "My house is too small, my yard is too small, these dogs need to be
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
I move that we come out of executive session MRSA 4056A-personnel at 8 PM.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. Make a motion? Oh, no, I'm coming. Well, no, I have to.
Oh,
I have to make a
So just don't
motion.
read the name until I
Yeah.
make sure that that individual.
Yeah,
Actually, yeah, whoever,
yeah, just don't do that.
either.
Say and or A until we.
I move that we move forward and offer the position of animal control officer to candidate A.
Negotiation, right?
Seconded.
Wait,
All in favor?
And it's only, if you, just the record, when the term ends.
Until 12/17/2024.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Did it before Wednesday, Tom, to make sure we have time for the holidays.
Oh, okay, strategic, great, thank you.
We'll sign this up before we go public comment.
John, do you have those items I gave you to send home? Do you have those items that you have to take home?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there is pocket.
I guess we'll go to public comment? Nothing? Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
Well, we gotta get the paperwork done, you gotta sign.
And, next Wednesday is, the day before the holiday, 4th of July holiday, so I was hoping the board would be interested in meeting on the 2nd at 5 o'clock, it's a Tuesday. I probably should check the calendar.
I think that's a good idea.
Will the warrants be ready to sign then?
Yes,
That's
sir.
my,
That's my-
knitting day.
It's your knitting day, bring it with you.
Okay, yeah, please don't do that. So, yeah, so see if people go to the fireworks on the 3rd.
Yeah.
We move the meeting to the 2nd.
Second. Yep.
5 o'clock, sounds good?
5 o'clock Tuesday?
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's what we'll do then. So, the 2nd at 5 o'clock. we're
You know what, I
gonna do
didn't
this.
check the calendar.
Ooh.
2nd at 5, it's available.
It's available. Okay, good.
Okay.
Okay.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you.
Night, everyone.